what's going on, guys? Kale here, coming at you with another video. For those of you new to the channel, I am an endgame player with 4 accounts. We are currently essentially working on our new player guide. So we are actually on the newest account, which is Caraxes, and we have kind of basically discussed a basic new player guide in a 5-part series, kind of just going on with some of the kind of questions, things you should be looking at, and things you should be doing kind of on a regular basis. So what I wanted to do and kind of expand on that is basically go through my kind of daily playthrough. So like when I log in for the first time, what do I do to kind of most efficiently kind of, I guess, get things out of the way. So one thing I do want to talk about is periodically, it happens 3 times a day, you'll get these bonus campaign energies. And for me, it'll depend on your time zone, but for me they happen at 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and then 8 p.m. And basically what you're going to get is you get 80 campaign energy of the 3 major types if there's a campaign event going on, like there currently is. You'll get your campaign energy, and you'll also get ISO 8 energy. So it is certainly important, even if you're just logging in real quick to collect this, it's important to get that free energy, because that is an additional 240 energy you're getting for free, essentially, throughout the day. Now, kind of when I start playing, it may seem like common sense, I guess, but what I do is I basically will go through to complete these objectives is basically my goal for the day. And by doing that, I am going to gain progress towards the strike pass, and you basically are getting free stuff here. And as you get higher up in levels, you'll go to different levels of the strike pass. And basically, you'll get a featured character. There will be gear that is applicable to your current level. So, like, eventually, you'll start seeing orange and teal gear more in here versus just like purple rather, and orange. So you basically definitely want to complete this. And if you're completing your daily objectives every day, you should easily be able to complete this. I normally am able to complete this, I think, with like a day and a half to 2 days to spare. If you are a little bit, if you are whaling a little bit and you want to buy the premium version for 20 bucks, it's not a bad strike pass. You're definitely getting bonus stuff. And that's something that's more, personal decision. I am using this account as a free-to-play account, so I won't be buying stuff like that. But anyway. So I've claimed my daily energy for free. Next, what I do is I go in and I do my campaign energy refreshes. And it is important to do your 4 refreshes a day. This is not only going to give you a good amount of XP to help you level, it's also going to get the minimum required 600 energy over here for your alliance to be able to launch raids on a daily basis. Basically, if your alliance is full and you have a full 24-member alliance, once everyone does their 600 campaign energy, they will donate in total 14,400 raid tickets, which is enough to run the highest level raids. We also currently have Coordinated Assault going on, which is just an event that happens twice a month. It ties into these month-long events, but you basically get more points if you are spending ISO 8 energy. So what I'll do when the Coordinated Assault is going on is I will use these free refreshes, as well as doing a couple of the 50s, and I basically will do 4. So now what I'll go in is I'll go into my roster and I will farm the character shards I'm farming. If you're looking for the logic as to why I'm farming the characters I am, please feel free to check out the new player guide part 1, and I do go into detail with that. So what I do real quick is I just go in, I farm my characters that I'm farming, and basically spend as much of the energy as I have, and then whatever energy I have left over, I will then basically move on over to farming gear. And kind of the reason I've slowed down my gear farming just a little bit is because kind of where I'm at, I almost have all of my characters' max gear level that I'm currently working on, as far as like the max gear level for my level in particular. Like I can't take them to G12 until I get to level 65. So that's just, it's a level constraint type thing. But anyway, so we will finish up with this energy, and for the most part, I think this actually will clear out most of my campaign energy, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll go in, let's see. And what I would say is you don't want to, like, over farm like too many characters as well. You definitely want to have some energy left over for gear farming, because you are going to need some gear farming. I'm at the point, however, where I have basically completed all of the campaign nodes, so really the only gear that I'm farming is for my primary raid team at the moment, which is my tech team. So I farmed through my character farming, and this is all going to basically cycle into my raid team essentially. So now what I do is I go on over to my verse battle favorites, and if you remember from part 1, this is where I like to laser focus, and as previously mentioned, I am working on Bionic Avengers as my primary raid team, and what I'm doing is I'm basically taking all of my Bionic Avengers to gear tier 11 for their gear. So I finished Vision, I finished Viv Vision, I finished Hulkbuster, and I'm currently working on Deathlock. So now I'll go in and I'll farm any gear pieces that I'm able to, basically off of campaigns that I have at 3 stars. And you'll see here, like, Hero 7-8 is locked, so is Nexus 8-9, and this is locked as well. So these are basically the 3 nodes I have to farm from. So I'll basically use my energy, and basically now what I'll do is throughout the course of the day, any additional energy I get, so from my 5 o'clock refresh, from my 8 o'clock refresh, and then just any energy that regenerates throughout the day, I'll use that on Deathlock's gear. Once I do have his nodes like fully farmed from the gear that I'm able to access, I then might go on to a secondary character. In this case, I was working on Nemesis, but I did get Nemesis to gear tier 11. So what I'm working on after that is actually I'm working on Wakandans, and that's basically because they share a different origin piece than my Bionic Avengers. Bionic Avengers are all tech, whereas the Wakandans are kind of a mix of mystic and skill. So I've been working on them for other reasons. I kind of talked about in that another video. But so I've spent my campaign energy. Now I want to go in and I want to spend my ISO 8 energy. So what I did was I took all of my Bionic Avengers to green 4. So green ISO 8 level 4. Green 4 is just an easier way of saying it. So now what I'm working on currently is actually taking them to green 5. And green 5 is going to be the much more like intensive. It jumps from, you only need 27 ISO 8 pieces to go to level 4. And then for green 5, you actually need 81. So taking them to 5 is going to take a long time. It's quite a bit of farming. But I'll basically just go through. I'm just starting with Vision. There's no particular reason as to why. I would just say you kind of focus on one character and kind of, make your way through as you go. And basically what I'll do is as I kind of continue throughout the day and get ISO 8 energy, I will just go back in and farm that stuff as well. Now that I've also done some campaign energy, I've also earned some training materials, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Bionic Avenger up a level, and this will help me also complete one of my daily objectives, as well as just spending a little bit more gold. And now that all of my Bionic Avengers are at my level, I can also then go in and start leveling my last 2 raid characters. So I'll go in, I'll pop a level into Sharon Carter over here. So she's essentially now maxed, and I'll go in and I'll put some levels into Dagger. And you don't want to, you are going to eventually run into a training material problem. It's going to happen, but as long as you're only focusing on a handful of characters, I know this is marketed as a hero collector game, but at the beginning, you don't have the resources to, level all of your heroes. It's just not possible. So yeah, so what I'm going in now, I'm just kind of upping Dagger's skills a little bit. I am being mindful of my T3s, or the purple ones, as I'm saving T3s initially for my Bionic Avengers. So like if we go in here, I will take up this for Iron Man rather, and basically your skills can go to 6, 6, 6, and 4 is the max before you start getting into T4 territory. So once a character is at 6, 6, 6, and 4, you can then kind of move on to the next character and start working on their T3s. So I basically used my basic energy for the day. As far as that. Next, what I'll kind of go in is I'll then go into my challenges, and we talked about challenges in part 3 of the guide, but I'll basically just farm this for the day, and I will basically get my blitz charges and some raid refreshes over here, so that is done. Origins, I'm not quite ready to basically be able to do skill. The only one I am able to do at the moment, and it hasn't come back yet, is tech, and that's because I am focusing on Bionic Avengers. So I actually will be able to do this tomorrow, and basically this will kind of really help me start to farm tech gear a lot faster. But we talked about that in part 3. Next, because we also have a event going on that is a campaign event, I will go in and do this Harbinger of the End, and I'll basically be farming my Nemesis shard fragments. Now, because I am in the new player bracket and the chosen trait, I wasn't able to really get very far. I was only able to do easy. This is... If you're only able to do easy, it's really not necessary to like refresh this campaign energy, because as you'll see here from not even refreshing, over the 14 days there is a finite amount of orbs, and you're eventually going to deplete them. Like this one right here has 5 more uses, and it's going to be done. So there's no sense, if you're only able to do easy and 1 node from hard, don't refresh this energy yet. Once you do get later on in the game and you are doing like heroic, it's definitely worth it. I think actually even if you were doing hard, it might be worth refreshing a little bit. Like if you were able to full clear hard, it might be worth refreshing. But if you're only able to do easy, don't waste the cores, because over the course of the 14 days, you're going to finish this anyway. And what'll happen is once I do finish farming like the few nodes I have left, any campaign energy that I do still get throughout the day, I'll just go into one of these completed nodes and I'll still farm it. Not because I'll be getting any of the orbs, but you do still get some basic orb fragments and you do get a little bit of gold. So you might as well use the like energy that you have. So we've done that. Next, what I will typically then do is I will go in and I will open like these orbs. These will basically kind of refresh throughout the day. You know, nothing too major. I'll then go into my mail, and we did talk about hoarding. So, you know, like I hold on to my arena payouts and I hold on to my war payouts. But currently, since we do have like the one event going on that requires campaign energy, any campaign energy mail I get, I will use, and any raid completion mail I have, I will use that as well. But currently at the moment we don't. Next I'll go in and I will basically do my arena attack, and basically I'll pick an opponent, and you kind of look for an easier opponent, one that you're probably going to win. So like this one here looks pretty easy, and it's a pretty big jump for me. So we'll go in, do a quick arena attack. And then basically what I'll do is, like, periodically throughout the day, I will go in and every arena refreshes every 15 minutes. So if I know I'm going to be on for a while, I try to do the arena attack first. That way, once I've done a couple things, I can basically go back in, do another attack in 15 minutes, and then so on and so forth. So with a fight like this, once you kind of start learning the game a little bit better, you're going to notice that there are certain characters that are essentially going to be more problematic than others. And like in this case, the most problematic character on the field is actually Gambit, because of his ping mechanic, and basically anytime someone goes, Gambit's going to ping. So I'm going to try to blind him here. I was able to get a blind on him, so he is not going to be pinging as much, at least until he goes. But I'm going to try to get rid of him first, and this is kind of something you'll learn like as you play the game more. There are going to be targets that you're going to want to target first. So now that Gambit is stunned over here, he actually won't go into stealth, and I should be able to take him out. And once I get rid of Gambit here, the rest of this fight should be pretty easy. Almost able to take him out there. And let's see. Okay, we have that big ult from Cyclops. Still not. There we go. Okay, so Gambit's down. My next goal is to then take out the healer real quick, and we will take out Beast. And then following that, the rest of this should be pretty easy. So you want to basically kind of choose opponents that you are fairly confident you're going to beat, and that'll help you climb in the arena. And like I've said in the previous video, in part 3, I believe, make sure you are at least in the initial parts till you're at an arena rank that you like. Try to get your 5 attacks a day in, even if it's just, periodically. You do your initial kind of daily stuff, and then throughout the day you just log in, do an arena attack, log back out, go about your day, and then get another arena attack in. It'll really help you in the initial part to kind of get as high as you can. So we did that. Next, we would then go in, and I like to do a blitz rotation. Again, this is one of those things that is going to take some time to cycle through, so I'll basically go through and do all 15 of my blitz characters. So we will finish that. I don't want to bore y'all needlessly, so I will be back in just a second. Okay, so we finished our main blitz rotation, so we've gone through all 15 of our characters. Like I mentioned in a previous video, though, I now want to go through, and I'm basically going to click this not on cooldown, and I'll remove my main team here. And these are going to be all my characters that are not on cooldown that haven't done a blitz rotation. So I'm actually just going to go back in and make sure these characters get an attack as well. Now, typically these are going to be my lower powered characters that I haven't invested in, because my 15 teams are basically my 15 highest powered characters at the moment. So by going through here, most of the time you'll probably lose a fair bit of them, but occasionally you'll get a win. And any wins are, again, going to give you blitz credits, and any blitz credits are going to help with the blitz orbs, etc. So see there, we got a win. And this part, like I said, it's a bit tedious until you get access to more blitz save squads. But make sure you're doing it as frequently as you can. In a perfect world, if you are able to blitz every 2 hours, you'll definitely see a influx of these blitz credits, as well as improvements in how you're doing with the blitz scoring. Because basically, when you first start the game, I believe it's for either 60 or 90 days, you're in a new player blitz bracket, and it's only new players. And then after that, you get thrown to the wolves, and you are with players that have been playing for almost 5 years, that have rosters insanely bigger than yours, and it just becomes a lot more challenging to score better. So once I've kind of completed my main rotation, the other thing I want to do is I go back in, and you see I have these blitz charges here. And basically what I'll do is I'll do my top teams, and I'll go through and use these blitz charges until they get to the 50 point. Once they do get to the 50 point, I'll then go ahead and move to the next team. And again, this is just a way of maximizing your blitz score. So we hit 50, so we go to the next team over here and kind of do the same thing. I will be right back after I finish this rotation. Okay, we've just finished our last rotation, and what I think it's important to remember is you don't want to go past 50, and you definitely don't want to use power cores for your blitz charges. So once you get to the point where you'd be using power cores, go ahead and stop. Now, if there's a blitz-specific milestone going on that relates to a certain character, obviously try to use those charges on those characters, but for newer players, a lot of the times you're probably not going to have those characters built. So looking over here, so it's been just about 20 minutes now at this point, and I've completed pretty much all of my daily objectives. So I'm going to go in here and collect, and you'll notice I'll probably get I think you get at least 1 to like 1.5 levels of this strike pass. So we started at 37. We're going through and collecting, and there we go. So now we've just got a couple things left to do in our daily objectives. So we've got Battle in the Arena, which we are still waiting for that to refresh. We've got supply purchases, which we can do now. And then all these other ones, even though they say they're optional, you're definitely going to want to complete them. You know, we've obviously done the raid keys already, so we don't have to worry about that. Which actually, I don't think I was able to generate raid keys because of when I joined the Alliance. Anyway, so these optional ones are going to give you bonus points towards the Strike Pass, so you definitely want to do them. And for the Alliance donation, make sure you're doing this as well, as it's how the Alliance is going to level up and we're going to gain access to Alliance War again. But let's just kind of complete the last one that I can do without basically, you know, time related. So we go in, and like I mentioned in a previous video, I like to just buy these 3 green ones. They're going to be the cheapest, and it's going to kind of save me gold. And just by a quick 20 minutes, once I basically am able to do this, which if you look over here, I've got 5 minutes left. So we'll say 25 minutes is all it takes to do your dailies. What I would also then do is I would go in and I would basically start some raid attacks. So go in here, join in, and I'm basically going to look for a lane that is kind of unoccupied. So there should be 2 people here, so I'm going to join over here. And at this like low level, this is just Ultimus 2. This is super easy. I'm just going to go in with my Bionic Avengers, and they should be able to sim right through this, no problem. And we'll do our 5 raid attacks. Now, if you have a really good raid team like Bionic Avengers or like one of the other meta Doom 3.0 raid teams, you should actually be able to sim this. And as you can see, this is literally taking me like no time. You obviously, if you do enjoy raid attacks, you can certainly go in and do the fights. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. However, like from my end, you know, I am doing these dailies on 4 accounts, so anything I personally can do to save time, I'm going to try to do. So there we go. We were able to quickly sim through. My lane is essentially now done. That's because this is like super easy content. But yeah, so that is just kind of a quick daily playthrough. So what I'll kind of do now throughout the day is I'll go in and I will basically finish my remaining 4 arena attacks. And then I'll also go in and, you know, every 2 hours or so, I'll go in and do some blitzing. You know, if you want to set a timer and be a little bit more hardcore about it, you can. I also kind of will go in here and I'll look. As I've mentioned in other videos, I'm like super like tinfoil hat, and I like to open most of the orbs when they get to the 10 point. So I'll go in and I'll open any of my like 10 orb theory orbs. And yeah, that's just kind of a quick little rundown of what I do on a daily basis to kind of maximize my time. So hopefully you found this new player daily play walkthrough, I guess, helpful. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a good week, and take it easy.